The Senate met again today to try and come to a consensus to get the federal government funded, but with no luck so far. Senator James Lankford joins us now just after walking off the Senate floor. He's live for us. Senator Lankford, thanks for taking a few minutes. I know you are super busy.
Yeah, there are a few things that are going on right now.
Yeah, just a few. Let's talk about that. So the Republican-backed funding bill failed 54-45. The Democrat-backed bill failed 47-52. You guys need 60 votes. So what's the holdup? What's it going to take to get something passed?
Yeah, we're trying to find that breakthrough moment. A shutdown is kind of like a war. It's easy to start. It's really hard to stop once you're actually in it. That's why for the last 4 years, we got to September, didn't have everything resolved, and so we did what's called a clean resolution that just kept the government open at the current levels until we got everything worked out. It's what we were trying to do again this year, and our Democratic colleagues would have none of it. They want to show resistance to President Trump, and so they're saying no, they want $1.5 trillion in new spending to keep the government open a few more weeks, and then they want to renegotiate again after that. So we've just said, why don't we keep it open? Let's keep negotiating. It is frustrating at this point because federal employees and members of the military, as we pass through this weekend, will not be paid on time. We've got issues where IRS agents are on furlough. Air traffic control academies are not active right now, training the new academy folks or the new folks to be in the control towers. There are significant issues that are happening around the country right now that we need to just get open, and then we can keep negotiating.
You know, I think a lot of people just get frustrated by this. They see what's the need to shut down the government. I know you've offered some bills in the past to make this a thing of the past where we just don't have government shutdowns.
Right.
Is there any idea that this could pass in the future? What was the holdup with that? And are you going to continue to push for that once all this ends?
I'm going to absolutely keep pushing for that. The last session we brought this bill up, it had 57 votes. So I need 60 for it to pass in the Senate. So we were very close, or we wouldn't have a shutdown right now at all. It's a very simple proposal that if we get to the end of our fiscal year, we don't have the appropriations work done, government stays open at current levels, but members of Congress can't travel. We have to be in session 7 days a week, and we can only work on appropriation bills. It kind of locks us in a box and says you can only work on this and you've got to stay here until it's done. I think it's a reasonable way to be able to put pressure on members of Congress to say, do your work and you can't leave until it's actually done. If I can just say it simply, if you don't finish your work during class, you got to stay after class to get it done. That's a pretty straightforward way to do it, but not hold members of the public and the federal families have so many problems and issues of wondering if they're going to get paid. Let's put the pressure back on members of Congress.
Yeah, I want to ask you about this too. There's been a lot of questions about back pay for the people that are furloughed. There's a memo circulated from the White House yesterday. I think Axios first reported it, suggested that furloughed workers are not guaranteed their back pay. Is there truth to that? Could you explain that a little bit? I know there are some federal workers probably watching this right now.
Yeah, federal workers will get back pay. That's already in the law, but what is not getting back pay are contractors that are out there. If they're contractors, and some of those are food service in these different agencies or janitorial services or so many folks, they're just not working right now, and so they're also not getting paid. That's a real frustration for all those entities. So the federal workers will get their pay if they're on a federal employee. But if you're a contractor that works for the government, they won't. So there are real consequences for a lot of families.
Okay, and Senator Lankford, we're out of time, but very, very quickly, do you see this ending anytime soon? Is there a hope that this can end very quickly?
I am a very optimistic person. I just keep working as long as we possibly can on it. There is a chance of that. I hear the pressure of, hey, people are about to not get paid. This is really important that we get this resolved for all those families. We need to just keep fighting for them to be able to make sure this actually gets open. So we're going to come back at it again tomorrow and just keep going until we get it done.
Okay, Senator Lankford, thank you so much for spending a few minutes for us today. We appreciate it.
You bet. Thanks. Keep praying for the nation.
All right, we'll be right back in just a few moments.